are here in sunny Seattle with the Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
Woo! We are excited to help you guys announce your new album. It's called In League with Dragons. Comes out on April 26th.
That's right.
And very excited about it. John, what can you tell us about this new album?
So we'll talk more after I do a little play, but it's anchored by 4 songs that take place in a fantasy world and sort of branches out from there. And those sprung from an actual rock opera I was working on that I did not wind up pursuing any further because when you tell a long story, it starts to get away from you, and you think I don't have it. I don't want to actually world build that hugely, right? And so, but I had these 4 anchors that were full of nice images, and I started placing characters from the real world in similar situations and finding out what my theme is. But the Dragon song is the one that asserted itself as sort of the big anchor for me. The title In League with Dragons was sitting in a notebook for several years, and I would look at it and go, I like it. I like the notion of that. Because when we always, when you play,
right?
What do you do to dragons? You kill them.
We kill them.
You kill them. But actually, dragons, there's a lot of ways to be a dragon.
Right.
And that's kind of my themes.
And we're here at Wizards of the Coast in front of Mitzi the dragon, who has been a fixture here for a long, long time. And I assume that's why you wanted to come here and announce the album from here. Is that right?
Well, and I wanted an excuse to come out because I just started playing Magic, and I'm like that kind of excited. I was like, go to the place where the thing that will have all of the things. And
nice.
There is, in fact, a card shop like just a mile from here that is absolutely mecca. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I was just able to take you around a little bit, and I could see the excitement in your eyes as we're looking at the artwork and things that are on display here at Wizards of the Coast HQ.
It's a magic place. It's just incredible.
It's where the magic happens, for real. But yeah, we're very excited to have you here. What can you talk about? I think you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons at least for a few decades?
So, no, well, sort of. I played once in the D&D club in like 79, 80, I think it was, at El Roble, and I showed up, and it was some dudes I knew and some dudes I didn't know, and our party was quickly attacked by a ghost, and I said, well, I will fight him, and the DM said, oh, no, you'll lose, and I said, this is, to me, this really is my whole personality in miniature. I said, well, everybody has a chance. Right? And he said, no, not against the ghost, not right now. No, not everybody has a chance. I said, yes, I do have a chance. So we rolled the dice, and as it turned out, he was right in this instance, and would have probably been right 100 rolls in a row. But so I left, and I didn't come back until a couple of years ago after I wrote Wolf and White Van. My friend Clinton asked if I played games. I said, no, it's funny. I started to, and I was very interested, and I was into a lot of things that were like that. But I played video games and pinball instead in high school. It was more solitary. I have an angular relationship to socializing with live people.
So having that screen in front of you sometimes is the connection to stories and things like that.
I didn't do a lot of when I'm still angry that video games are now through a network where you play with strangers. To me, like the function of a video game is to be alone with a screen. Right?
Yeah.
Playing against what? A computer, right? Who's nice to you, right? It's like, I mean, not
quote unquote,
not nice in play, but So that was the thing for me. But my friend Clinton asked if I play, and now I play tabletop games every Monday night.
Excellent. Yeah, and you're in a group in Durham, North Carolina, right?
That's right. Yeah, and we play. We've played D&D for me because let's play D&D. John hasn't played it.
Nice.
So I did, and I tend shocking my younger self. I tend to align lawful good. Right, considered by I think most the least interesting alignment, but the
most challenging to play sometimes.
Well, it is. It's like, and it's it's the moral nag, but also the moral center, and I also and I like to play clerics. I want my clerics to have magic power, generally speaking.
Right.
But I don't want to be the wizard. I want to be the cleric. I want to be the conscience. Right.
I like that. That makes sense. And you just recently got into Magic, as you said. Did you just go to the Allegiance pre-release?
Yes.
What was that like?
It was really intimidating because those guys are really good at it. Right? They play a lot, and I had played I think 3 times when I sat down at the pre-release. I got shellacked. But I won one because the other person wasn't there, so I got an automatic win for that.
That's the secret. I'm heard.
But I had a lot of fun. It was I mean, learning the mechanics of it is so interesting to me because songs are like this. There's the skin, right? are the wizards and the monsters and all this stuff. And that's really the flavor, right, and the appearance of everything. But it's not actually the game. The game is mechanics. The game doesn't have any monsters or anything like that. It doesn't have haste. Haste is a way that you describe a mathematical mechanic. Games are good ways of tricking you into learning that math is more interesting to you than you think it is, right?
As long as there's a story behind that math.
Which is something that I actually learned shooting craps. I don't know if you ever shot craps.
Right.
But the thing about craps, it's not about money. It's just a good game.
Right.
It's a very fun game.
And a social game.
It's a social. Craps is social in a super interesting way because you get people who don't know, who get personally invested in your single roles, and craps is just about keeping the role going. Exactly. Right? That's all it is.
Right.
And it's
and
a really
D&D can be like that a lot too, especially when you're like, oh, we got advantage, we got to keep that role going.
Oh yeah, and nobody wants. I've discovered this. This reminds me of me playing Monopoly with my father when I was 7 or so. That people don't want your characters to die. Whereas one thing that is unique to our gaming table is we are not shy about killing off our characters. We let them die. We will let them become ghosts. We will let them have a trove of letters that they read, but they're actually gone. We kill them. We kill them outright, and we'll kill them repeatedly if we can.
That's a good storytelling mechanic, though, because there's nothing that you can't come back from. There's like this like loss, and you feel those emotions, but then how great is that to have rebirth? That's
right. But you can also bring in a new character who can be a friend or something like that.
Right.
The game that I will never finish writing has a lot of possibility for this.
You're writing a game?
I've been working on a game for several years. It's never going to be finished.
Is it in that notebook?
No, it's on my hard drive. Only people who still play first edition will like the title of my game.
What is it?
Character Generation.
That's one of the best games out there.
It is a game in which you roll dice, and you do almost nothing but roll dice. And it's also called Yearbook because one of the first things you roll for is how many years pass between each meetup, right, with your characters. And there's 100 different scenarios they could be playing. They could be in prison. They could be on different planets and so forth. And if you've ever seen that series of movies, the 7-Up ones, where they 7-Up, 14-Up, 21-Up, they started with a bunch of 7-year-old English children in the 70s or 60s,
right.
And they meet up with them every 7 years to see how they're doing. And but this is different because you have to roll your age. So if your location winds up being a prison, but your character is 2, how'd that happen?
There's a story behind that.
But as you might imagine, if you're insisting on having this many outcomes and it's the first game you've tried to write, it will never be done. It will never be finished.
That's true.
They will read sections from it at my funeral.
Nice. Well, I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait either.
And then we'll resurrect you, and everything will be great.
That's right.
So there's a lot of storytelling in your songwriting. I feel like every single song of yours that I've heard, it feels like I get transported almost into like a D&D-like world in some of them.
Yeah.
Is it all from your perspective, or do you create fictional characters as well?
So I'm always singing through characters, although the thing is like I have thought about this in a lot of ways as I've grown as a songwriter, because when you're a young songwriter often, well, I don't like to generalize, but it is true for many songwriters, that you try to write from a perspective of somebody who's not you, maybe who's noxious to you. You know, a lot of younger writers like to do this and say, well, I'm inhabiting this character, it's a cathartic thing. But then as you grow, you sort of go, no matter what story you're telling, you are telling something about yourself. It's like dreaming, right? When you dream, nobody else came up with that stuff. That came from inside you, right? And so it is telling a story about you. And that's what I think is, I think all writing is eventually somewhat confessional. That frees you up to tell whatever fantastic story you want to tell. You can write autobiographically or not. You're still writing autobiographically. You're still talking about your values. You're still talking about the things that are important to you. And I think that's super interesting. It was a liberating thing to realize, like, you're always disclosing. You're always sharing more than you intend to.
Right. There's that old adage of write what you know. But I always thought, like, it's impossible to write what you don't know.
Boy, this is...
To a certain extent.
My 12-year-old self got so angry at teachers. Write what you know. What do I know? I'm 12. Right? I want to write about stuff that is cool, not my life. Right? And I really got really angry about that. Eventually, I think the teachers are right, but they're right because you should be honest with the stuff that is important to you, right? If you're trying to write a character who loves something you yourself don't have any love for, you have to do a lot of work with that. You have to grow that character in such a way that you can relate, right? Otherwise, people can smell it. People can go, you don't really know.
Yeah, trust in the things that you do know. Yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting. With the last book I wrote, Universal Harvester, like the main kid Jeremy, he craves a quiet, uneventful life. I have not had a super quiet, uneventful life, but I realized I was writing, it was like, I kind of want to be him. I kind of want to be the kid who's like, no, I don't have to quit my job at the video store. I'm just going to stay at the video store.
How does writing novels like that kind of interact with your songwriting or anything like that?
It's funny you should ask here, because with the songwriting, there's something of a wall between those. Songwriting, one, I've been doing it so long, right, that I have a process that I go into that's hard to even describe, because it's kind of natural. I just sort of, there's an improvisational aspect where I just pick up, start playing something, and ad-lib a line, and then I go back and forth between the notebook and the guitar until I get something I like,
fascinating.
and I hammer it together. Whereas with writing books, it's a lot more like game playing. It is like right now on my desk, and a writer friend of mine is always saying, "Don't talk about the thing you're writing about." And she's right, but like right now, I'm in a very complex bit of section, and there are 60-something note cards on my desk with names of characters or scenes on them, right? And it's very game-like, the way you go, what if I take this guy, what if that one's not even there, right? And then you look at the thing you wrote before, and it's very much like rearranging figures on a map, right? Or on a battlefield, where you go, okay, you're actually gone. This, you know what? None of you actually even know what that place looks like. And this can be really great. I think I can say this. I unkilled somebody about a year ago, right? And I had spent a lot of time and energy killing him, right? Like really, and the scene where he died, man, everybody was going to cry when this guy died, and I like to make people cry, and it feels good, and they enjoy the crying. It's a shared thing, and my wife liked the scene, and I looked at it and I went, I'm not going to kill that guy. I have to do better by him for a bunch of different reasons, and this is game stuff. This is what we were talking about before about regenerating characters. Is like, well, so there was a whole timeline in which this guy was murdered and so on and so forth, and it's like, you know what? No, he wasn't murdered. He just quits his job. Yeah,
and there's something about the iteration of like trying to find the right spot for
him.
And
it really is very similar. I was talking earlier about how in the Canterbury Tales, that's a game. Right? That's game playing as storytelling. Although Chaucer, I think he only specifies that, like, then we'll select whose story was the best, which is a fairly simple game mechanic. Right?
You might as well just roll the die if
because
you're going to do that.
Right? Have like. The first game I invented was called, you're going to love this name, Something for Everybody.
Oh, we should look into making a game like that.
I was 5, and I was playing with my Aunt Doris, whom I loved, and I wrote a section of a line, and then she continued the line, and you keep handing it back and forth until you have a picture.
Oh, I like that.
And we tried to sell it to Hasbro, actually, but they were not. No.
When you were 5, so it was like,
5.
10 years ago?
Well, this was in Portland, and so it was like where was Hasbro then?
No, back east, yeah.
So...
well, that's. So there's so much storytelling with this album in particular too. You said it came from a rock opera.
Yes.
Why isn't it a rock opera still?
For one thing, because one of the songs, which is actually, one of the things I wish I had remembered is how the 3 editions vary that are up for pre-order today. But one of them comes with a 7-inch that has one of the songs from the rock opera, which was called River's End. And that's the name of the seaside kingdom where the aged wizard who's low on magic is going to have to defend his people against an onslaught by sea, right? And they will be chased away from the seaside, and they don't know how to function when they're away from the shore, right? And they wind up in the forest, and they wind up having to learn to live there. And the song's called Sentries in the Ambush, and it was really hard to play. It kind of leans hard on Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And that's a hard song to play, right? And it also, the thing is, when you start world building, if you're actually going for the whole thing, writing a novel is in some sense easier because you allow yourself a very long time to do it, right?
Right.
And you allow yourself to cull, and you say if it's a short novel, then it's a short novel. If it's a long one, it's a long one. You let the story dictate. Songs don't allow you that kind of freedom. I mean, they could. You could say, okay, well, here's 31-minute songs that tell this story, but that itself is a weird... It was just like I wound up going somewhere else. And, of course, being me, like, I would want to distract myself. Here I am on my 7th River's End song. I start thinking about Doc Gooden, right? And then I was interested in the connection.
The pitcher from the Mets?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one of the songs I was going to play today, but I decided to play one about dragons instead. So Doc Gooden...
It might be, how to play to your crowd, for sure.
So, well, here's the thing. Old wizards and old athletes are the same. right? They were once magic, right?
Oh,
they once were everyone's hero and could do anything.
Right.
And they tend to probably get better at understanding their craft. We all do, right? No matter how you grow as an artist, you probably get what you do better.
Yeah.
Right? For better and worse, because that also means then you see where you're going, right? And you have to make choices about that. But when athletes, they sacrifice their entire bodies to what they do, so do wizards, right? And so there's actually 3 characters on the record who are sort of like real world ex-wizards. There's Doc Gooden, and there's Ozzy Osbourne, who is like my personal totemic wizard, and then there's the guy in a song called Waylon Jennings Live, who's an arms dealer watching a Waylon Jennings concert in central Iowa, getting ready to get in his car and try and make it to the Mexican border.
This is fascinating. Now I want to. Are you going to play all these songs or just some of them?
Like I was saying, I had 5 of them on the original set list, and my manager was like, I think 5 for announce day is perhaps a little extreme. And you're probably right. And plus, I would play like 3 of them wrong because they've never been played live.
How can they be wrong? No one knows.
No, but this is the thing. People, if you play a new song, people will YouTube that and go, oh, first time ever played live, which almost invariably means it was bad that night. The only one I can think of is the first time I played You Were Cool, it was the definitive take, right? And that was in Orange County someplace. But short of that, the first time we played Rain in Soho was at the Beacon Theater, opening for Jason Isbell, gigantic crowd. And I blanked on half the lyrics. I'm just sitting there playing that F-sharp minor, begging for death, right?
Yeah. It'll just keep going. No one knows.
Well, the thing is, but if you're the singer, the band is just rolling along.
Yeah.
They don't stop and wait for you to go through your notebook. I had a notebook on that tour that I could feel the resentment of my band building for the notebook. Because I'm not an organized person, so if I even look at the notebook, it means we're in trouble, right?
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. What song are you gonna do? Younger, perhaps today?
No, I'm gonna do on the set. I'm gonna do In League with Dragons. I'm gonna do Cadaver Sniffing Dog.
Awesome.
But I'm gonna start with a song from a '95 album.
Ooh, excellent. All right, great. Well, before we get to that, which is going to be very soon, you can check out Younger. There's a couple of links where you can listen to that. That's out there now.
That's right. It's on all the services.
All the places you can possibly get it.
It's available. It's streaming media. It's the future.
It is the future for sure. You guys are the future right now because we're streaming to you. But this is very exciting. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thank you enough for helping make this happen and for having me. It's a huge honor to be here.
It's amazing.
Super fun.
So without any further ado, let's have some songs from the Mountain Goats.
Let's do the thing.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
I have a tick that even though I have introduced myself to you, I have to do it at the end of the first song I play. That's the rule.
When I was 12 years old, they put me on the throne. When I was 12 years old, they made me king. From the ocean south of here to the northern hemisphere, they gave me everything. Now I'm 13, and no one takes me seriously. Now I'm 13, they're trying to take away control. I don't know how stupid you all think I am, but as sure as flowers grow along the western wall, some heads are gonna roll. Yeah.
Hi, we're the Mountain Goats. Thank you. This is on In League with Dragons, and it's kind of a noir sort of mini mystery. And as I was saying earlier, if you write a song like this and you have young children, they will go to school and sing the chorus because it's got a chorus that repeats 4 times. And I recommend this because it's very funny to have somebody, a teacher, ask you, what does cadaver sniffing dog mean? The song's called Cadaver Sniffing Dog.
Hustle up the spiral stairs, see if anything's left up there. Teams on the scene from several stations. Everybody adjust your expectations. Stray clumps of hair and blood and brain, fragments of bone in the drain. Rookies trying to keep the airway clear, but the damage is too severe. Bring in the cadaver sniffing dog. 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 Army crawlers down ash wet floor, ready for war. Veterans on their hands and knees. Nobody's ready for days like these. Wait till you come upon the smoking wreck, and even then you check. Radio home all clean. If there were any survivors, they fled the scene. Bring in the cadaver sniffing dog. Bring in the cadaver sniffing dog. Sniffing dog. Bring in the cadaver sniffing dog. Thank you very much. Come hard through the fog, blindfolded and bound, till we stand at the edge of a hole in the ground. We hold hands and we jump. And as we fall, we sing. Paupers hammering the walls of the castle, going to meet the king. Never sleep, remember to breathe deep. Never sleep, remember to breathe. Breathe deep. Crashing from deep space, shot birds falling fast. Who will be there to catch us in his jaw when we arrive alive at last? I can't see you in the dark. I wish I knew where you'd gone. I know you're there, off in the shadows somewhere. Try to soldier on. Never sleep, remember to breathe deep. Never sleep, remember to breathe. Breathe deep and breathe humbly. Secure your mouthpiece when you can. Toxic shapes adorn the walls as we rise from our knees. Someone's coming to reward us, you wait and see, or crush us both like fleas. Never sleep, remember to breathe deep. Never sleep, remember to breathe. Breathe deep. I am ready for my close-up today. Too long I've let my self-respect stand in my way. Yeah, the fire's bright and the frame's tight. No, wait, that's not actually that's the second chorus. Yeah, the prom queen caught in the high beam and the strings keen. It's a big scene, but when the house goes up in flames, no one's emerging triumphantly from it when the scum begins to circle the drain. Everybody loves a winner. I spent 8 hours in my makeup chair, waxed my chest and shaved off all my hair. Yeah, the fire's bright and the frame's tight. Try to get right. Well, we've still got light, but when the house goes up in flames, no one's emerging triumphant rapidly from it when the scum begins to circle the drain. Everybody loves a winner.
Thank you. I'm gonna play one more old one. I should say, if you get this kind of gig, when you make a set list for a show you're playing next week, don't go, I'll play a bunch of stuff I never play, or you forget words. So, cross your fingers. This is called The Day the Aliens Came.
I will wake up at 6 a.m. again, and I will find my way to the front door like a soldier crawling through the smoking carnage. Smoldering bodies at my feet. I'd love to stick around, but I've got someone to meet, and I will put my best foot forward. Now thank God I made it out of there on the day when my new friends come. I will walk out onto the lawn in my nice white tuxedo jacket, and I will look out upon the world through my dark sunglasses and take in the scene. The house behind me and the people in it will all go up like steam in just a minute. There's gonna be a redefining of some borders, and I will receive my orders on the day when my new friends come. The rooftops and the sidewalks will all melt like plastic. But old friends, dear friends, I'm gonna look fantastic. There won't be any reason left to cry, because there won't be any people left to cry for. My memory's gonna vaporize itself, but my Italian shoes, well, they will be to die for. I believe I can fly. Why don't you look up at me and wave goodbye on the day when my new friends come? When my new friends come. When my new friends come.
Thank you. Here's the thing that happens when you make a record and then you have to think about what you meant by it and so forth and get ready to go into the cycle of where you talk about it and stuff. And there is a cliche among bands, especially like, you know, rock bands of the 70s, saying, on this one we really got back to our roots, right? It's the cliche, because they say that every interview cycle, right? It's like, oh, again, we are getting back to our roots, right? But at the same time, it's like, and the reason it's a cliche is like, if the band was extraordinarily popular and playing stadiums in the 70s and now they're not, right? Then they want to assert that the new one sounds like the one you used to buy when you were going to see them in the stadiums, right? So, but I am sympathetic to the 70s stadium bands, one, because I like them, and two, because I noticed while I was playing this, I don't have a firm set list. I just have a list of song titles to possibly play, and I look at it, I go, don't know it, could try, right? So, but I was playing that one, which is I wrote in 2004, And I keep avoiding playing the one I'm going to play now because I haven't played it for people before, and so I'm nervous I'm going to forget it. But I noticed that it is also a song about a person who is hoping that their new friends will come. Just one new friend in this case. I think the growth has been from a bunch of new friends from outer space to one new friend who's actually an old friend and lives in a cave and almost never comes out. This is called In League with Dragons.
It's so hard to be yourself. The human element drags you down. Lead a solitary life if you can. Try not to show your face in town. Let the rumors find such pathways as they may. Open up the variables. Find a way, make it real. Make a deal until my protector comes. It's so hard to get revenge when you've already seen the inside. Try to navigate the turns as best you can. Headed on down the slide. Good friends are where you find them. People talk all kinds of trash. Never you mind them, make it real. Make a deal until my protector comes. Huge wings blotting out the sun. Remembering everyone. Be so hard to look away. You gotta be strong in the face of suffering. Cut a good figure just in case somebody's watching, even if it ends up meaning nothing. Let the breezes find such pathways as they may. Maybe Boris Vallejo paints the back of your head someday. Make it real. You make a deal until my protector comes. On the morning when I woke up without you, for the first time, I felt free, and I felt lonely, and I felt scared. And I began to talk to myself almost immediately, not being used to being the only person there. The first time I made coffee for just myself, I made too much of it, but I drank it all, just 'cause you hate it when I let things go to waste. And I wandered through the house like a little boy lost at the mall, and an astronaut could have seen the hunger in my eyes from space. And I sang, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do without you? On the morning when I woke up without you, for the first time I was cold, so I pulled on a sweater and I turned up the heat, and the walls began to close in, and I felt so sad and frightened. I practically ran from the living room out into the street. And the wind began to blow, and all of the trees began to bend, and the world in its cold way started coming alive. And I stood there like a businessman, waiting for a train, and I got ready for the future to arrive. And I sang, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do without you? I'll play one more, and it's between two that are both in D that I'm looking at on the list there. This is the one, circa 99, I open pretty much every set with. It is a story. This guy bears heavy similarities. If I was into this, and some people are, I would absolutely be willing to assert that this is the same guy in Waylon Jennings Live on the new record. He is a person who's in some kind of trouble, right? And the police are probably out to get him. So he's getting excited about it. It's called the Ashwas Mambo. Thank you so much for coming. It's really special to be here. I could almost hear the rhythm section kick in as the drums began to blaze. I saw you walk across the plaza. I figured I'd just play it like it lays. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think I'm gonna be sick again. I think it's gonna happen real soon. And I know I can't afford another night here in this place with its 16th floor view of the ocean and the dunes. It's gonna be just you and me today, waiting for the other shoe to drop in Tampa Bay. I could hear the roar of the crowd from the stadium a couple blocks away. It's the kind of thing that used to get me all worked up, but I don't want to talk about it now. Okay, okay. I just want to get this whole thing over with. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I hear the cogs all slipping at the same time, and then I see you walking through the door, and it's gonna be just you and me today, waiting for the other shoe to drop in Tampa Bay. I always call release day, I didn't say this earlier, but I call it the bottleneck, because you spend months
you're done, you can't really talk about it to people, or it's like you just have to sort of, well, you know exactly what it's like here. It's like you have stuff into
we're working on, yeah.
In fact, for you, it's probably considerably worse. But it's this thing where it's like you have this thing you want to share, you wish you could share it as soon as you're done with it. But people wouldn't actually get that excited. You have to, the presentation, it's like, well, I would say I want to compare it to plating food, except that I hate plating food. I like to put everything in a bowl. That's what I do. But
bowling food.
You know, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Like a big old bowl full of food.
Well, that was amazing. That was a great way to show off at least 2 new songs and get back into it.
I kept looking. I had the other ones written. It's like, I want to play the new one. But they also are awaiting their little presentation moment. You know, it's like it works a little better. But yeah, no release day has ever been anything like this for us, or as far as I know, for anybody. I mean,
I don't think so. No, I don't think anybody's ever done this before from in front of Mitzi, for sure.
The big thing right now is surprise releases, which would just make me too nervous.
We'll upload your album later, for sure. No problem. But everybody else should be able to check it out.
Please do follow Wizards of the Coast to get that SoundCloud link.
Yeah, exactly. The actual real release date is April 26th.
4/26. We're going to hit the road. I think we're in the clubs that night, which I always like to do. I think we're in D.C. that night. I think right.
Excellent. That's a good place to start. Hopefully some things will change there.
There's super fun shows in D.C.
With some dragons attacking, I think is the way to do it.
Yeah, you know what? We'll be bringing our dragon on the road.
Exactly, yeah. We'll loan it to you for sure. Well, thank you everybody who's watching on Facebook Live, on the Twitch channels for D&D and Magic. You are awesome. This will last forever. People will be able to watch this time and time again. And good thing that it went really well. So that's really good.
No, that's the thing. Is like I only made 1 mistake. I'm pretty proud.
Nice. That's good. Nobody noticed that. I'm pretty sure.
I made 2. I think I transposed 2 lines from a song you've never heard before, so it doesn't.
That's right. Now that's how it is going to be
canon.
From now on. Well, thank you again, John, for being here. I am Greg Tito. Thank you so much for being a big part of this.
Thank you so much. A huge honor to be here and to be able to play in front of this gigantic, magnificent dragon. It's just one. I mean, the thing is, I didn't get. I talk a lot. You may have noticed, but like in 5th grade, you know, that's when they have you start writing reports. And my first report I ever wrote was dragons, and I got a special green translucent cover to write my dragon report.
Oh my gosh!
Like, this is really pretty special to me.
Now, if you could take this and like hand it in, you know, you get an A+. No problem.
Right. You see, my 5th grade teacher Debbie Vansel is not too far from here. Debbie, I got next to the dragon. It's very cool.
A+ on that. From way long ago. It's been amazing. Everybody check out mountaingoats.com to get those tour dates, to find out, pre-order the album. It's been a real pleasure having you here.
And actually, this is corny, but if you're watching this to see me and you don't actually play any games, maybe you're like me and you don't really socialize much, I really strongly recommend it. Game playing is really a blast, and it's like you can find somebody. It's really. I mean, I know that's a corny kind of pitch thing to say, but it's really fun and has improved my life and made me less susceptible to getting like aimless and sad about things.
You know, it's funny. People who don't know tabletop role playing and what that is, when there's 5 or 6 people creating something together, feeling that emotion, especially when something really strong happens. The thing I always go back to compare it is a live music event. Yeah, that's the only time where I think there's that combination of people and individuals coming together to tell a story of what happens that night. And I expressed that just now.
Yeah, and enough unknowns in it also to keep it interesting. But it's a vastly important part of my life.
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna have you guys playing D&D on tour and Magic on tour, right?
Awesome. I will be in the bus with my cards, building decks that will get beat by even the most rudimentary deck.
Nice. Well, we hope to see you at some Wizards events, whether it's Magic or Dungeons & Dragons in the future. And when you come back to Seattle, come on back.
Just holler. I'll be here.
And we'll play some games.
Awesome. See you then.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, well, thank you guys, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks, everyone who came to watch.